Welcome to Archeotech Assimilation, where we discover and investigate the technology of the Imperium and the tools of chaos.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this episode of Archeotech Assimilation. My name is John, and today I'm joined by Glenn.
Hello.
And Dave.
Hello.
The lesser seen Dave in these episodes. So we're obviously here to continue reviewing Interrogator, and this will be episode 3. And this episode will be called Someone Else's Nightmares. So from the description of the video, it said this is the end of chapter 1, or part 1, or whatever it was, act 1, end of act 1. So I'm assuming we're going to get a couple of weeks break already.
Yeah, for that whole half an hour worth of bloody episodes. Amazing.
40 minutes actually.
36, I think. 30. 38.
You take the credits out either side. But if they're doing it in acts, that means, so we should get a total of 9 episodes, I'd imagine, which is a good thing.
What makes you think there's going to be 3 acts?
Because that's what plays are normally, isn't it? Like act 1, act 2, act 3? Or do you think it's just going to be act 1 and act 2?
I'm not saying that there isn't going to be 3 acts, but you know.
Well, I'm being optimistic.
We got
it's a
3
Warhammer
episodes.
Series.
Yeah,
it's a Warhammer series, so we'll probably just have this for the next few months, and then
yeah, maybe they mean end of act 1. That's it. Yeah. See you in a year. Oh well, I'm being optimistic. I think we'll have hopefully a couple of weeks break, and then come back to it. I don't know if Blood Angels Origins is ready already, or if that's a long way off. But let's get into the episode. And although Dave, in fact, no, we'll save it to the end, and then we can get you a whole overview of Act 1 after we do the episode. I think that'd be better. So as always, we go through the story beat for beat, go through all the major plot points. Take this as your spoiler warning as we go into our thoughts on episode 3. So this episode continues exactly where it left off. Jurgen's still getting over the effects of using his power to read the mercenary or the drunk guy Broith from back in the bar, and he's complaining about the headaches that he suffers because of it. And usually he takes pills, but finding drugs on this forsaken planet on the hive is becoming harder, and he's running out, so he has to do a drink instead. And he offers a drink kindly to his friend Balder, who refuses, but not because he doesn't want to drink, but because the lid's covered in puke from earlier. So Balder asks Jurgen what he saw, and he tells him that he saw a cathedral and describes that Heroth was there meeting with a priest from St. Laramus, and that Bellinor never trusted these priests, and he expects that they may have been involved in her murder. So they start making their way down through the lower levels, through an alleyway full of beggars, and one of them reaches out and grabs Jurgen, and it looks like he's going to pull his gun out and just kill him for daring to touch him, but instead he throws him some coins to Balder's disgust. And I think this is like the first time we see maybe his conscience come into play, because he sort of says, you've got to care about people, even if they're going to be people that you're going to kill eventually. Like, you've got to try and do something good. So you can see like the little tear in his, I don't know, personality or his conscience coming through there.
Yeah, there's a flicker of humanity for a second, wasn't there?
Which is the first real layer of depth, I think, that he's got in these 3 episodes.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I think it's built on it, but yeah, there's plenty of depth to the character.
Oh no, I mean another layer to him then, rather than angry, drunk, and out for vengeance. And he's got the humanity side to him. So they carry on from there, and they're passing through the streets, and they go past, I think, what is a government building, protected by armed guards. And Balder comments that the civil war is about to break out between factions on this planet, between House Claw and House Sedimir. And it all started because Bellinor killed this governor. But Jurgen believes it started much earlier than that, and killing the governor was just one of Belenor's many plans, which he still can't figure out. And then we go into a flashback for when, just before he met Bellenor for the first time, and we see Jurgen with his previous gang before he became the interrogator that he is now. And they're looking to get off the planet because which seems to be a habit for him, have pissed off a lot of the wrong people. And their plan is to ambush this Inquisitor who's just landed planetside, steal their symbol, and then they're going to commandeer a ship because the Inquisitor signal is going to be like a free pass to get anywhere they want to go. He thinks it'll work, but the others don't have as much faith, and he tells them to trust him. And the famous last words, "Don't worry, we're all going to make it." And then you cut to the next scene where pretty much all of his team is dead on the floor. I like this though; it's pretty brutal.
I do think, like, what on earth was going through his mind, thinking, "Yeah, I'll just casually take out an Inquisitor with the retinue. That'd be easy for a bunch of gangers." But okay,
maybe he just didn't quite know what an Inquisitor did, or he was just really, really overconfident in himself and his team. They've obviously been surviving long enough doing the crafty shit they've been up to. But yeah, and basically you got one of them still left alive, and Bellenor is sort of mocking them, saying like, you couldn't even do an ambush properly, and then basically blows a hole in that guy's head, and you just see his brain pop out and his eye pop out of his forehead as Jurgen's looking on in absolute horror. But he uses that to his advantage, and he dives at Bellenor, grabs her symbol, and as he takes hold of it, he starts seeing glimpses into her past. And you see her standing on top of a pile of dead orcs, holding back an advance from them, and then on board a ship looking like she's ordering exterminatus onto a planet. And obviously we know that his life was spared from there. So they carry on walking through the city, back into current time, and they sort of discuss that this planet's been cut off from the Imperium, and Balder says it's too late. Once we reconnect with the Imperium, this planet might as well just get ordered exterminatus. It's not worth saving. And as he says that, a bomb goes off, and they basically get thrown to the ground. And as they're recovering, a load of civilians come running through the hole in the wall, pursued by soldiers of House Claw who are murdering them. Balder and Jurgen take cover, and you see people getting killed. Balder wants to keep going. This isn't our fight. Let's go. But Jurgen says, we have to help them. I can't remember the last time I did anything good. Again, that is humanity coming through. And they get up, start wiping out the soldiers pretty efficiently and pretty brutally. And as Jurgen's killing them, he says, the funny thing is, saving lives often means taking lives. Good has never been an absolute. And when it seems like it's over, Jurgen takes a breather until someone pushes a gun up against the back of his head. And we see the mercenary from the first episode, who he let go, who says, Ado sends his regards. And the episode ends. And that's the end of Act 1. So what did you guys think?
For the episode in general,
Well,
I think it was probably I'm mid-speech, god damn it. It's being dramatic. Yeah, for the episode in general, I think out of the three, this is probably the weakest. I didn't enjoy this one as much. And they seem to have found their new trope of exploding head equals flying eyeball. Because we've seen that probably about 4 or 5 times, just a detached eyeball flying away from skull. It was nice seeing a bit of depth, bit more depth brought into the character. But there's other things I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of. Like, it wouldn't have taken that much more to show probably the 15 seconds of Jurgen's gang getting ass raped by the Inquisitorial warband, because that would have been a very, very short fight. But I would have liked to have seen just how it went so badly tits up for them. But yeah, it was. I don't know where it's going, and I think possibly the fact that I knew this was going to be the last one for a little bit, I wanted a little bit more to grab onto, knowing I'm going to have to wait for a while. You know, it wasn't bad by any stretch of the imagination, but it's all right.
I thought at least it was going to end with him finding Heroth. At the very least, like the last scene being him standing there, not the mercenary from the beginning, but
Yeah,
that'll do for now. Little cliffhanger. What about you, Dave? So, series overall.
You ready for this?
We're ready.
I think you're going to be shocked at my answer. I'm actually really enjoying this.
Hooray!
I thought you would.
From animation to the voice acting, everything, I think it's actually been really, really good series. I didn't think I was going to like it. I thought it was going to be just like Hammer and Bolter, but it's a lot more fluid than that. So I could get into it a lot more. I think the animation overall is really, really good. And the story so far has been quite engaging. This episode, I really liked the depth that they put into the Inquisitor and their sort of relationship and how that started. I think that was quite good. Just from grabbing the seal. And it'd be interesting to see a bit more of that storyline and see how he's got, obviously, you can see he's torn up by her death.
Yeah.
So how it's got to that point from her blasting one of his best mates' head off to him moping about for years and years and years because she's dead. But yeah, I think it was a good episode. Like you say, I don't think it was the most exciting of the three, but I think it moved the story on quite well. Yeah. I think there was a lot to it that progressed. So yeah, overall, I really enjoy this series. It's not my favourite series, and each episode should be longer in my opinion, but the content is really, really good. I'm always going to say that it should be more episodes and they should be longer, but the content is really good.
But what I wanted to ask, because obviously when I said about doing tonight, and you said you hadn't seen any of it, so you've watched them all back to back. Did it not just feel like maybe that was just one half an hour episode? So did it not feel better for you doing it that way? If you took out the credits.
Yeah, I think so. It was quite, yeah, maybe that's why I'm sort of a bit more engaged with it. But even from the first episode, I was actually like, okay, I like the animation. I'm going to give this, because I did sort of go into it thinking this is going to be like Hammer and Bolter. I'm not going to be able to get into it. And half had my mind made up, and straight away I changed my mind. So yeah, I'm very pleasant. I really like seeing the hive and the sort of the dingy elements of the 40k. That's really cool. And obviously with some of the books, you get the warring factions, the different houses having it out. So it was nice to see that sort of parallel as well. Pleasantly surprised.
Because it's like the 40k universe in general is so vast. It's nice to see something at like a human level.
Yeah.
You know, granted, he's obviously got some psychic chicanery and stuff like that, but it is just a human in some dingy hellhole, basically. So yeah, it's a nice change of pace from, you know, giant super soldiers blasting the bejesus out of stuff from
enormous aliens.
Yeah, you know, it's very different.
Yeah, I did sort of. I don't know as well. Is it? I've really enjoyed the Eisenhorn series as well. The books. Yeah. So perhaps that is sort of making me think of that a bit in terms of he goes to a lot of scummy places, he deals with a lot of scummy people, and obviously he has his own powers and he's a little bit better than everyone else, but he's still on that more humanistic level, which, I think it's really good.
And let's be fair, we live in, you know, an area of Kent that is...
Yeah, it's like I saw half the cast.
We can see the parallels.
Yeah. I feel like I was drawn into this series.
Yeah, I think I gave coins to the same man that grabbed his legs the other week. So
I think they were the coins given to me.
Yeah, well, that guy's usually asking for a quid, so you know.
Yeah. But like I say, I'm really, really happy with it so far. Like I say, I'd love for him to be longer. And it is. I do feel that there are only 3 episodes in. You could just launch more, get on with it. But no, it is what we've got is good. So I'm trying to think about. I'm trying to be a bit more positive with my critiques of Warhammer Plus.
You see that little red symbol that's on your screen in front of you, Dave?
Mm-hmm.
Those guys, it probably took them about 3 months to do that episode. So that's why it's taking so much longer. That's how long it takes to make that level of animation for that length of time. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
so
I bet, yeah. But
fair play.
I think it does show. Yeah, definitely. I think it does show the animation in this is really, really good.
Well, I hope they hear that, because and if they are watching and they haven't seen any of the other videos, he hates everything. So that's high praise coming from Dave. That I wasn't quite expecting. So that's good stuff. So what do you think? How long do you think we're going to wait? What do you think we're going to see when it comes back? Quickly before we wrap up.
I think I'm wondering where the big fella Baldur went. Like, he seems to have just disappeared all of a sudden. So we'll see what's happened to him. And whether Ado is obviously linked to this other shady chap. But it may be. I don't know if this is just going to be. He's going to get out of that. That's going to be one more episode, and then you're going to have a couple where he gets back on the trail. I don't know.
Maybe it's going to be one of 2 things. The next episode is going to either start with Baldur turning up and blowing that guy's head off, or he's just going to follow and let them kidnap him and then come to the rescue just before he gets executed later.
Yeah,
and then be like, "Yeah, it was my plan all along."
I kind of like option 1 there. That is the ultimate double bluff of like, a cliffhanger, and then within the first 2 seconds they've resolved it. It's just all right, on with the mission. Right.
What more walking, please?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Right. Any more?
No, I don't know where the story's going to go.
No. It should be good. Hopefully, like you say, Dave, we get a couple more flashbacks and build on the relationship and find out why he is so torn up. But then if they leave it, we just have to accept that he loved her or something like that. That's fine.
Yeah. Well, I'll see you in 3 or 4 months when the next one comes out.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. Right. So thanks for watching this video, everybody. Follow us at Iron and Ceramite on Instagram and all social media platforms. Obviously on YouTube, please do like the video and share it if you feel that way inclined. If you want to listen to our podcast, you can either watch it on YouTube, where we already are, or you can go over to any good podcast service and stream it there. Twitch and Patreon, we always mention they exist for whatever purpose, we don't know, they're not used, but go over there anyway. When you're doing your shopping for your hobby stuff, Element Games, use the link that's in the description in the video below and get your normal discount. But thanks for us sending you to them, they will give us a little bit of kickback, and we can put that money into the channel as per the recent big giveaway we did. And combat cards. Glenn, who's at the top of the leaderboard? You or Shane?
Shane at the minute.
Oh.
That explains the. That's why we're not going to talk about combat cards anymore today. So join the club.
I've been slack this week.
Fine. So I hope you like the video. I hope you like the series. Let us know what you thought. Right, I don't care if you like the series or not. I didn't make it. But if you did or didn't, let us know in the comments below. Let us know what you thought of our review. And we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
As always, we would like to thank you for listening to our Iron and Ceramite podcast. If you liked us, then you can also find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and any other good podcast services. Just remember, in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war.